Greetings everybody, and welcome back to Ascension Arc, the show where I take one of the many unbuilt characters on my account and we give them the best glow up that we can in 3 weeks time, basically. This time around with the vote, you have the option to pick between Ayato, Raiden Shogun, Yanfei, and our mystery Geo option. And to be honest, this vote was actually incredibly even for the longest time, but in the end, Ayato took the win with over 40% of the votes out of 1,400 votes. That's absolutely crazy, guys. I couldn't thank you enough for, voting on this, because this is awesome. I feel that Ayato might be the most versatile character in the entire game, bar Sucrose and Kazuha. He is absolutely astonishing at filling out the Hydro role. Unfortunately, he has been power crept quite severely by other characters. Furina basically performs all of the off-fielding that you would ever need in Hydro, and Neuvillette is Neuvillette. This has kind of pushed Ayato into a weird position where he is never the optimal choice to play, despite being as versatile as he is, and I think that's a darn shame. So, looking at his pre-build, it's awful, because I haven't built Ayato at all, unfortunately. We're starting with a total score of F, and everything is absolutely bonkers. Of course, he is not level 90, none of his talents are leveled up, we have no energy recharge, we don't even have a Sans or Circlet, we'll get to that later. And the substats of the artifact are obviously very low. We are going to have to do a lot of work on Ayato to bring him up to speed, so we are going to see exactly what we are going to be able to do. Mostly, though, we are going to have to start with leveling him up to at least 81, that we do with most of our carry characters, and we're going to have to take a look at his talents, because I do not believe I've done a lot with them. I think they're level 6? It's neither here nor there, but it's a lot of work that needs to be done at the very least. Now, Ayato's kit is quite interesting. He is a sword user, and when he activates his skill, he will, instead of normal attacking, start doing rapid strikes that deal hydro damage until he's done 15 attacks. These are also lightning quick, so they are very good at applying hydro, and deal a chunk of damage, to be fair. His burst is him basically telling you to go touch grass for a couple of minutes, and then he creates a very large AoE where random water bombs will be dropping onto the ground, dealing hydro damage. It's a very basic kit, to be fair. There's not a lot of flair to Ayato's kit. It is just very flashy. It feels very good to do, even though you're not interacting with it all that much, and it kind of fits really well into quick swap teams. When looking at Ayato's weapon choices, however, he's kind of left stranded. Most weapons that he has access to that are of any benefit to him are basically stat sticks, and that kind of sucks. His best in slot is obviously his own weapon, but his optimal choices are only really 3. The Black Sword is your best quote-unquote paid alternative, as it comes from the battle pass, but it does give crit rate and basically gives you more damage on normal attacks, which is what you're going to be doing most of anyway. You also have the Mist Splitter and the whatever the primordial, the weird sword I never remember the name of. Other than that, we basically just have stat sticks for Ayato. Furina's weapon is a massive crit damage stat stick. You have the Calamity of Ishu is fairly good if you are playing a team where you can get a shield up and going. If you don't have access to that, there is the Lion's Roar if you're playing Electrocharged only. The Sturdy Bone is actually quite an interesting weapon choice for Ayato because it does work really well, but only in specific teams. Then you have the Finale of the Deep if you feel like I'm on a crafted weapon, and if you have access to absolutely nothing else, you can use the quest weapon from Kazuha's second story quest, as that works perfectly fine. We will be going with the Black Sword this time around, though, because I happen to have that max leveled already, and it just happens to be a really good weapon on Ayato and saves us a bit of the crit stress that we are eventually going to have. Now for the team choice of this episode. Ayato is very interesting, and again, you can kind of fit him on whatever team needs Hydro. Whether or not you need to play him on-field or off-field doesn't really matter, because he is able to perform and dish out both applications and damage regardless, but is again sidelined because of the stronger Hydro units we have available, especially from Fontaine. In this episode, we are going to be playing him as the on-field DPS, together with Kokomi as his main healer, which should probably be Furina when we're talking out loud, but I just really want Kokomi to feature in one of these episodes, and I'm doing it today. Then we're going to be playing Kazuha. Kazuha just helps to shred resistances and do grouping, which Ayato desperately needs to perform well, so he fits a very important role. And lastly, we're actually going to be featuring Inefa in this episode, simply because I kind of felt like it. I wanted to have an Ecto Charge team, and why not make it Lunar Charge now that the character is relatively new? I think it'd just be really interesting. Let's stick her in there. If you do not have access to that, you can replace it with literally anything else. Let's have a look at the current build of Ayato, because it's not great. We are, of course, running the Black Sword, as I said before. It is 27% crit and a pretty beneficial passive, so we're going to be running this. The other option I had for this episode would be to run the Calamity of Ishu, and we might be swapping over to this if we can find a good crit circlet early, because this would potentially deal more damage. Ayato, what is wrong with you, buddy? Stop it. Get some help. In terms of artifacts, we already have 2 artifacts on Ayato that I'm happy with, and we are going to be keeping them for this episode. We have 1 feather here with crit rate and a decent amount of crit damage and some attack, which is actually kind of nice. And we have a feather that has crit rate, crit damage, and attack. I'm going to be keeping these 2 unless we find something that is much, much better than them, because let's be honest, we need all the help that we're going to get, and that's perfectly fine. In terms of Ayato's constellation, I actually have a C1 Ayato, somehow. The C1 is not really that relevant, sadly. Basically, your skill's damage does 40% extra damage with anyone that's under half health, which is kind of whatever. If we had C2, that is one of his best constellations, which is a darn shame, but we don't. In form of talents, he's currently 1, 6, and 6, so we are going to have to do some work here. We would like to crown his skill if possible, and we will definitely be bringing up the burst to at least 8. That is basically everything we need to get started, though, because oh boy, do we have a lot of stuff to do here. Now, you may be wondering why I have a Tignari team on screen right now, and that's simply because we are heading to Ayato's boss, which happens to be the Hydro Hypostases. Now, as you can imagine, the Hypostasis, of course, is immune to literally Hydro, which is our main form of damage. Yeah, you get the point. We've been here before. So I'm pulling up last month's Ascension Arc, which ended up being Tignari. I have actually played a lot of Tignari off-screen since I built him, because he's really fun. I don't know if he still has his artifacts on. Oh, he does! Good for me. No, I actually really enjoyed playing Tignari. He's been super fun. I've been experimenting with a lot of teams since that video, and while I do really like the team from the video, this is another one of the teams that was both recommended to me in the comments, but is something that I had built beforehand. But yeah, we're just going to be killing this boss a couple of times and see what we can get. That's not a half bad feather for a Glad set, honestly. If that rolls crit rate, that'd be crazy. Unfortunately, not something we need in this episode, but it's there. Second boss kill coming in. That is pretty bad, but hey, we got 3 more. There is the 3rd kill. Actually getting 4 drops there is kind of insane. Not that great of a flower, though, but hey, we take what we can get. We do also need quite a few of these, so anything we can get here is really nice. And the 4th and final kill for today gets us, not a great head, but hey, 3 more. I also can't be the only one who thinks that the Hydro Hypostases specifically is just really annoying to fight. Like, yeah, the Anemo Hypostases is just invulnerable for a long time, and you have the Dendro Hypostases that you're forced to bring Dendro to, even though Dendro literally can't hurt it. But there's just something about the Hydro Hypostasis that's really annoying. Most of its attacks don't give you enough time to try and one-shot him because he's only down for a couple of seconds. You have to wait for him to do the weird spinny dolphin move and all that. I don't like it. We are going to have to craft a couple of these because I do believe I am out. I think I needed 2. But with those and a little bit of farming, we should be able to bring Ayato up today. We do have enough of everything now. We just need to go gather some Sakura blooms, which are a bit of a pain, to be fair, but thanks to Goru and a lot of fast electro characters, this should be over in a cinch. Give me just a moment. And there we go. I was a little bit too lazy to go around the map and collect all of them, but I might do that off screen at some point. But we do have enough to ascend Ayato up to level 80, which is great. I think we should have enough books to do so also, which we do, which is great. So now we can work on his final ascension. We do have to farm quite a little bit for this, but he also does ascend with crit damage, which is really nice. He actually ascends with a fair bit of it. So I'm kind of good with that. We are going to need an absolute ton of these still. 20 kills of the hypostases, man. I really don't want to do that. But oh well, we have to do it at some point. So, you know, we may as well. But hey, we get a standard wish. You know what? We do love a bit of gambling in these videos, don't we? We ended up with a sky spine or whatever it was that one time. Not this time. Oh well. But fortunately, we do have 4 days remaining until Chasca's and Mulaney's banner, which I will be wishing on. So you get to watch that in the video too, I guess. Anyways, yeah, that's everything we can do for today. I'll see you tomorrow. And we're back. It's Thursday today, and I have been doing some things off screen for our boy Ayato. In fact, I went out and gathered all 60 Sakura blooms that we needed, but I also farmed all of the hypostases off screen because I'm going to be honest, I did that at 4 AM, and I wanted to scream the entire time. I was basically unable to sleep on my couch with my Steam Deck, very infuriated having to fight the boss. But I did it, it's done. I also crafted together the 6 gemstones. We did get 1 gemstone drop, actually, which was really, really nice. But unfortunately, again, I was on my Steam Deck, so I couldn't record it, but it's here anyway. We're going to ascend Ayato up to 81, as we do with all of our characters that are supposed to be carries. There we go, 81. We know he is done now. Today, since it is Thursday, we are going to be focusing on Ayato's skill mainly, as that is the main thing we will be upgrading, and the burst if we can help it. His normal attack is basically useless. We're going to put it up to level 2 because it is a little bit funny and gives us extra points in the build rater, I suppose. But generally speaking, the only thing we're going to need to do is level up the skill and burst. We're also going to show off the team today, because since we're in this domain, we kind of can. Do keep in mind, though, Ayato isn't going to deal that much damage, but it's still worth showing off, I guess. So how this team works is that you will start off by using the Ayato burst, then immediately go into Kazuha and make sure that you swirl Hydro, which you should be doing fairly easily. Go into Inefa and use all of your Inefa buttons. Swap into Kokomi and drop your jellyfish, and then go into Ayato and use your skill. And this is just so cool. By the time your skill is done, you should now have your burst back up. And rinse and repeat. I think I actually swirled Electro there, which is whatever. But as you can see, that's how it works. That's literally it. That's the whole combo. You did it. Congratulations. I love this team. This team's awesome. That's literally it. Inefa actually brings a surprising amount to this team because Inefa has a shield, meaning she not only enables Lunar Charged, obviously, which is a very cool reaction, but you also get the shield requirement for Calamity of Issue if you choose to run that weapon, which is neat. A purple is also very, very cool. Now, unfortunately, we don't have Burst this time, which sucks for this team. So we're going to have to waste Kokomi's, what's it called? Kokomi's weapon upgrade here, because we kind of need to. I also didn't burst correctly. Hey, everything's wrong this time. But even if you screw everything up, the team still works. Look at this. Okay, we almost died. Don't look at it anymore. It should also go to show that my Inefa is not built at all. I haven't started building her yet. So if she deals absolutely no damage at all, that's why. Let's grab another one. Whatever. And now, if you end up in a situation like this where everyone is just dead, you can literally just burst with Kokomi, which helps the Lunar Charge reaction ever so slightly while healing up your team, and then swap back into Ayato when you're ready. It just kind of works. Also, someone's still alive. But man, I don't know what it is about this team. I don't think this is any of these characters' best team necessarily, but this team's just really cool. It kind of does everything that I'd want this sort of team to do. I don't know. I think I've come up with a cool team here. But again, if you guys have an Ayato team that you like playing, do leave it in the comments down below, because again, Ayato is an incredibly versatile character, so any team suggestions you have, I'd be happy to try them out. This is just awesome. I forgot to condense my resin for this, so we're just gonna do 3 really quick ones. Oops, silly daisily. There's another one. Oh my god, 2-2. 2-2-2-2s? I will say, one of the absolutely most adorable things that the Hollywood devs did was put Inefa's face on Birgitta if she's not the active character. That is the cutest thing they've ever made. I don't care that it's a robot. You know, I ranted about the whole Mawika motorbike thing, but at least this one is cute. Look at it. It's a little butler bot. I don't know, like, I have problems with technology like this existing, but at least this one gets a pass for being adorable. Anyways, last one. Nothing more. That is completely fine. Let's go craft these up. Luckily for us this time around, I actually have a lot of Ayato's talent materials, as we've seen before. I have an absolute ton of these for whatever reason. I don't necessarily know why I have all... We've had a couple of Shogun bosses lately, I guess. So we're completely set in terms of weekly boss drops. I don't think we're going to have to worry about that at all. We do, however, have to craft some more hand guards here, it looks like. So we're just going to... 100. 100 sounds nice. Nice. Honestly, yeah, just make like 50 of these. Come on, Sucrose. Show him who's boss. Very cool, Sucrose. Absolutely smashing it. All right, let's check the talents again then. We're definitely upgrading the skill here. That is a lot, actually. 76 to 83%. Wow, okay. Upgrade that. 83 to 90%. Upgrade that too. Can we get it? Oh, we can get it all the way up to level 9. We are 1 away from crowning his skill. That's awesome. We are definitely going to be crowning Ayato's skill, in case you were wondering. 100% we're doing that. We're going to get these on Sunday, I presume. And here we are for day number 3 on Far Ayato Build Shenanigans. We have to do the artifact domain down, where all we have to defeat is a singular ice shielded Hilichurl. Here is pull number 1. Ooh. Crit damage, although everything else here kind of sucks. That's unfortunate. That feather is good, but again, we don't really need a feather that much because the one I have is pretty decent. Here is pull number 2 for the day. Ooh. Oh, it's energy recharge? That's not what I wanted, but other than the fact that it's energy recharge, those substats are woof. I'd be tempted to roll this to see if it rolls crit rate, and if it does, I mean, maybe. It's a copium piece for sure, but yeah, maybe. Oh, hey, boom, I don't need. Great. Well, Inefa accidentally fell over, but that's all right. Pull number 3. HP. Oh, if you gave me one of these in attack, I would have been so satisfied, but they're both kind of wrong. HP, I get. Technically, we have some HP scaling in the kit, but I don't think that's ever relevant, and this one's bad. And the final pull for today is both the wrong set, but hey, that's a nice feather if I ever have someone that wants this set, I guess. And the Mental Mastery Goblet is probably worth keeping. You never know when you need them. We're back! It's Sunday today, which means we're going to be spending all we've got in the talent domain. We're hoping to get enough today to actually crown Ayato's skill. That would be really, really nice to have done. We're going to need 15 or whatever blues. And unfortunately, Inefa appears to be dead. Anyways, I'll be back with the pulls. And here we go for pull number 1. That is very nice. More of those, please. There's pull number 2, and that's not what we want to see. There's pull 3, and yes! There's pull 4. We might not actually get it today, and that's kind of sad. And there is the last pull of today. Unfortunately, no purple. I don't think we are anywhere near close, but I'll go and craft everything up and see how we got. Well, Layla did come in clutch and give us at least 2 doubles, but unfortunately we only went up to 12, so we're going to have to revisit the domain at another day. Oh well. So, hi there. A bit of a weird cut in here because this was an artifact day and I decided to just do it off screen, but I realized that I had a lot of artifacts kind of just laying around, so I decided to strongbox for Ayato, and we actually got a couple of pieces that were worth mentioning, so here I am, we're recording now. Unfortunately, every goblet we got was pretty crap. If this would have been attacked, that would have been great. We got this feather that's actually really, really good in terms of roll, so I might roll this just to see if it's better than the one that we have. But we also got this crit rate circlet with crit damage on it, and I will roll this because there's a chance that turns out really well. Unfortunately, none of the other ones are really that good, so I'm just gonna strongbox the other ones. See if we get anything that is useful here. This is an attack with unfortunately nothing on it. That would have been great if it had crit. And a feather with nothing on it. Alright, that's perfectly fine. Again, for those that haven't watched the series before, I have basically started doing artifact stuff off screen. It's just much easier, because if there is nothing interesting to do in a day and I am just farming artifacts, I'll cut in like I did now in case there's anything good. The thing with this is, we actually have 58% crit already. So we don't necessarily need a crit rate circlet, but we're still gonna roll it, because I also have this crit damage one that I've picked up. I'm going to start by rolling this, and if this rolls crit rate, it did not, so we're not using that. We're gonna go for this one then. This has both attack and crit damage, and is a force slaughter. If this rolls attack or crit damage, that's great. If it rolls any of the other two, it's kind of bad. HP is acceptable, but it is not good. Attack is fine. Crit damage is great. Crit damage again is great. Oh my god, what? No consumables. No, we can't have that. Not on this piece. Are you kidding me? Hang on, I got a bunch of force we can get rid of. I mean, look. 31% crit damage with 26% crit rate. Or sorry, 31% crit rate and 26% crit damage, sorry. Out of 5 rolls, 4 of those being good and 1 of them being simply okay, because again, Ayato does have some HP scaling. That's insanely good. We're slapping that on Ayato right away. The problem now is we're on 89 to 146. That's kind of unfortunate, honestly. We could now warrant switching to the Calamity of Issue. That's 61 currently, and he gets... What was he on before? He had something... We need to do this. I hate doing math. I'm sorry to everyone watching. I suck at this. Before he had 1300 attack, just about. So if we swap this over to Issue, he will have 16% more crit rate during his skill. Unfortunately, he loses crit rate off of his burst, which is a shame, but 16% off of this, that's still really good. That's 77. That's good enough. I think we can warrant running Issue. Because, again, as you know, Inefa, who apparently doesn't have a weapon right now, Inefa enables Issue by just having, this, because that's a shield. No, I think we're gonna do more damage if we swap to the Calamity of Issue. Just because of that absolute stonker piece right here. Because basically we're gonna have more attack this way, and we are still going to get a ton more attack here, because that's 40% extra, compared to the Black Sword, which is 20% extra. So, that's more attack off of that. I'm gonna be honest, I think we can change to Issue. With that piece? Like, absolutely. That's awesome! We did have this also, which was crit rate damage attack. Not this one, we have a feather. That's what we were doing. So, the other feather that we got here, we actually have 2 more feathers to roll. This one has 17 crit damage, which is great. These also have the chance. This is a perfectly statted one. So, if this rolls anything even half good, I will be very happy. That's super unfortunate for that one. That is not going to cut it. That is just a straight up downgrade. But we'll use that to upgrade this one. Unfortunately, it is a 1 less pull here, but we'll do it anyway. We'll see where it goes. That is not good either. Attack is great, but the other stats here make me really sad. I'm tempted to pull this in still. This feather isn't great. I'm gonna max this just to see. No. Okay. Well, if I feel like reshaping something, I'll probably reshape this one. Actually, we could reshape this. Honestly, I'm gonna do it because I love Ayato. Everybody that says this is a waste of your X Genesis, look away. I don't care. I'm gonna try it. Hope for the best. Huh. It still rolled into double defense, unfortunately. But it did roll into double crit damage this time. Which is better than the other one. That's a little bit unfortunate, but that is theoretically slightly higher than this one. Yeah, I think that is better. It is weird. If I get another feather, I'll probably re-roll it again on Ayato, because again, his feathers are super, super good. But the only thing we are missing now is a compass. That's it. Once we have one of those, we're basically set. That's awesome. Now, I know this isn't normally where we start one of these videos, and I don't tend to include pulling for characters here, but Chasca finally has her rerun, and I missed her the first time around, so I figured, you know what, I'll just throw it into the Ayato video for the hell of it. We are on very high pity. I'm gonna do solo pulls until we get it, because I'm not gonna waste any wishes for nothing. I'm on like 70 something or another, 77 something. I didn't keep count, and I don't particularly care. Oh, purple, okay. Aoife or Auroron would actually be really nice. Because I don't think I have, no, I do not have maxed out Auroron. That would be good. Anyways, we keep going. There it is. What do we get? Let's go! We got Chasca! That's awesome! Been waiting for that for so long since I lost it the first time around. Oh, that feels good. That means I can try and get Mulanni, too. Let's put the rest into Mulanni's banner, then, because I need to pick her up, too. I don't have her, either. No back-to-backs. Oh, we get a bad sword. It's whatever. Oh, hey, another Auroron. I will take those. I want Auroron and Aoife specifically from this. But I will probably pick up Mulanni as well, or I'll, you know, do my best to try, I suppose. But yeah, I've wanted Chasca for so long. I missed out on her first banner, and I was really upset about it, because I actually like her a lot. That means the bow I prepared for her is this one. I don't have her signature, but this is supposed to be very, very good for her, supposedly. So, I don't mind that at all. I think this is actually a pretty decent weapon. We'll see if I can't, try and snag her bow, too, but that's nice. Also, what C Auroron do I have now? Again, completely unrelated to this episode, I guess, but I'm genuinely curious. Oh, that's my C6! Okay. Oh. Oh, alright. That suddenly makes Auroron, like, really good. I haven't leveled him, but that's awesome. Anyways, since we did yesterday's with Ayato, and we actually got the very, very good headpiece for him, we've decided that we're going to be leveling the Calamity of Issue, and I believe this is available today. So I'm gonna pump everything we've got into getting the masks for this, and that should be it. But you know, we're gonna use the 4 that we have available today to try and get as many masks as possible to see if we can't bring the weapon up to 90 to be very, very happy about life. There's number 2. Oh, that's a full golden one. That's perfect. We're hitting 10Ks on crits here. This is sick. We barely have... Okay, no, I'm lying. We do have one really good artifact now, and both the feather and the flower aren't honestly that bad. But, like, we're actually hitting for some damage. We don't have an attack sans yet. I will say, I did put a template sans on him, just so that we get the Heart of Death bonus, because I feel like that's fair. But he doesn't have a proper attack one yet, and he's still hurting a fair bit. Oh my god! Okay! I'm super good with that! Is that enough? We might have just gotten everything we needed, honestly. Let's ascend this, bada bing. And because we have Raiden, we save on the cost, which is great, because these are usually very expensive. A bunch of level 2 weapons, I guess, from doing exploration that we need to do. There we go. And level 90 Calamity of Issue. That's awesome. So I guess the last thing we really need to do now is the talents, which also happens to be today. So I guess we're just spending whatever remaining stuff we have in here. And with a bit of luck, we will get 2 purple so that we can crown his skill, because that would be awesome. All right, we have 1 more to drop here. Can we get 2 purples? Oh my god, of course we can. What is up with today? Not only do I get to win a 50-50, but we just get every single drop that we need all at once? I'll take it. With this, we are going to be able to bring Ayato's skill up to crowned. That is awesome. As you can see, his Namison is actually his HP as well. So the fact that our headpiece got an HP roll is not entirely wasted. But that's so awesome. So, like, the only thing we really have left to do now is that I would like to bring up his burst 2 levels, which obviously isn't going to be done today. That is going to be done on Friday with a bit of luck. But other than that, we've only got artifact left. So if we get any good artifacts by the time Friday rolls around, I'll show them on screen. And if not, I'll see you on Friday. Now, you may be wondering why on earth I'm standing inside the Imaginarium Theater today. And to be honest, I was at first too, but I've done a bit of artifact farming for Ayato now, and I realized very quickly that the last thing we're missing is, once again, an attack sans. Who could have freaking guessed it? And what do you know? If you actually do the 9 Stella reward in the Imaginarium Theater, you're given a Sanctifying Elixir. And with 2 Sanctifying Elixir, we can craft one. Oh, well, I guess we can't do it here. So much for setting this joke up. No, but here's the thing. Like, we've missed out on attack sans, I think, every single time we've done one of these challenges so far. Like, Fischl never got one. I guess Farazan got a decent one, actually, and Kaveh didn't need one. But Ayato is one of those characters that I legitimately want to have well built on my account. So I'm not upset about making one for him. I think that's the perfect way to round his build off, is just to make an attack sans. So we're going to obviously do attack percentage. We're going to set crit rate and crit damage as the substats for it. And yeah, we're just going to go for it. There it is. Oh, and HP on it. That's super good. That's like best possible scenario for our man. All right, let's go into this. This was the makeshift one that I had before. Let's put him on his main one. We do have a little bit of Mora, I guess. We lost a lot of Mora in the process over the last couple of days. Oh, there's been so much to do, so much to see. There's a few of these that I think I want to keep. That's the other feather that we made. What can we throw in here? We can throw you in here. Right, let's see what the last stat of this is. Defense percent, of course. We know 2 of them are going to go in here, and that's honestly all we can ask for. But we get 1 into crit rate there. Let's drop everything we got in here. We get another 1 into crit rate. Interesting. So that's both of the ones that were guaranteed up here, most likely. Yeah, there's the defense roll we all expected. And an HP. HP isn't a dead stat, though. Unfortunately, like, no crit damage, which is what we necessarily wanted. But to be honest here, 70% crit, together with the bonus off of Calamity of Issue, which gives 16% more for everything that's relevant, that's essentially critting on every attack. He has fairly good artifacts at this point. I mean, they're not groundbreaking or anything, but we hit the 2,000 attack requirement. We have everything we could ever want on these, I suppose. Some people here use HP percentage. We obviously don't. We want attack. The rolls are a little bit scuffed, but whatever. Honestly, I don't mind that much. It is unfortunately the goblet we have that is always the problem. I don't have a lot of good Hydro goblets. I could theoretically steal the one I have off of Farina, which would be really funny. Is there any other one that is even worth stealing? Ignore the fact of like what characters these are on, because they are most likely not correct for the most part. The only good one I have is Farina's, I guess. And I don't think I'm going to take the one off of Farina because it's an on-set goblet. I kind of don't want to take that. There's just a lot of crit rate on all of mine, honestly, which is just a bit of a shame. I have this one that's got 21% defense, which is just sad times for everyone involved, I guess. Nah, there really isn't any other one than this. It's not great, don't get me wrong, but it's got HP, it's got EM, it's got the things we need. But yeah, that's basically Ayato's build finished. We only have one thing left to do now, and that is to farm his burst up to full level, which unfortunately we cannot do today. It is tomorrow. I did all of the artifacting off screen, in case you were wondering, which is why I'm, you know, sort of sullying around these parts now. But I just really wanted to check in and tell you that, yeah, we ended up crafting that one, and tomorrow, with a bit of luck, Ayato will be finished. And here we are for what could possibly be the final day for Ayato. It's been a ride, and a fairly quick one this time around. Before we start doing anything, though, I am going to update those who cared. I did actually do a bit of wishing off screen, and what do you know? We picked up Hydro Yoimiya. Great. So now we successfully have every single Natlan character on this account. I didn't really intend for that, but I guess that happened. We lost the 50-50, though, but luckily Milani came very early after that, so I didn't have to absolutely explode my wallet. By the way, thank you to everyone watching. You are paying for my Genshin Impact characters, and I could not afford them without you. No, I did actually get... Let's see here, where are you? Why is she so adorable? Holy. Yeah, we actually got a Gene constellation, and I'm now at C2 Gene, so I actually have the attack speed bonus thing, which is actually kind of nice. But other than that, though, we are going to give Ayato a run for his money here, because I'm going to be honest, he hurts. Without any buffs whatsoever, hitting for around 8k a hit. And then if we do the full blowout, 12k, 14, 17k. I saw one of them in there. That's incredible. Holy, that's so good. On such a shorter rotation? Wow, okay. I'm taken aback by that. That's awesome. Like, does that compete with Nuvalet and stuff? Obviously not, but I don't care, I don't think. That's insane. Oh, I like that so much. This team's awesome. Holy, we're not really getting any drops though, but like, am I gonna complain? No. All right, that is not gonna be enough for anything. So I was going to use this transient resin for Mora because we do need that to finish this off because I'm basically out of cash entirely. But I guess I'm gonna have to spend that on this domain then. All right, we'll use the transient resin too just to get everything we can out of here. And not a single purple is very depressing. But we're gonna craft as many purples as we possibly can, and we'll see how it goes. Right, this is gonna probably suck, but let's go. Ooh, can we? Oh my god, we have just enough. That is exactly enough. Good job, Layla, you absolute star. Problem is, I don't think we have the money to actually do it. We're a couple of 100,000 more short. That sucks. And with some off-screen farming, we have successfully finished Ayato. We are down to 48,000 Mora, but honestly, I don't really care about that. I'm so happy to have him done. And you know what we're gonna do? Just because we happen to be in a very good period for Ayato specifically, there is currently an electro-charged Spiral Abyss going on. Let's give it a go. Like, I don't know how well it's gonna go with this team, because I haven't actually 12-starred it yet, because the last boss on this is a complete dingus. But I'd be willing to try. Alright, I'm gonna rock these two teams. Screw it. I'm only going to be focusing on the Ayato side for obvious reasons, but I think this— oh, normal and charged attack damage? I will take that. Right, we'll go in and we will burst. We will Kazuha everything. We will Enefa burst to Enefa skill. We will poke Kokomi's fish down, and we will have at it. Look at the numbers! There's so many numbers going on. Oh my god, I can't even see what's happening. Oh, I really want to do this, please. Thank you. We'll do this again. I don't know what this is going to swirl, but we have some cooldown. We'll swap into Coco. Apparently get hit by everything. And then get frozen. That's unfortunate. Honestly, I can do better than that. Nah. I can do way better than that. That wasn't honestly a half bad run. I'm okay with that. Not great, not terrible. I'm okay with it. I'm gonna be honest here. I only missed that 3-star by 10 seconds. I'm pretty sure if I sat down and perfected the first team's rotation, I could easily do that at 3-star level. Anyway, I'm gonna try Chamber 2. I really want to see where this goes. Man, that clear is a little bit slow. I think a lot of that comes down to the fact that I'm not super good with the rotation of that team, especially not on controller, because I've been playing it on keyboard for the most part. That felt so good, though. Even though it was very slow, I feel with a bit of work, I can actually make that super good. All right, well, Mawika gets to drift around a little bit. I was nowhere near the 3-star on that one. But again, I think that is largely due to the fact that we had a really hard time grouping enemies together on the first half. That's very unfortunate. That might just be an innate weakness of the team that I created. There's definitely better teams for Ayato, but I like this one, so we're rolling with this one. Man, I am so close to doing that. I think if I legitimately got Ineffa up to her proper level, I would have that in one rotation. I should have a team that should do this way faster. Yeah, sure. But, like, it's very close, and that's basically all I could ever ask for Ayato, realistically. It's so close. Obviously, I don't think we're gonna 3-star this either here, but for less than 2 weeks work on a character, I think we're doing goddamn fine. Well, honestly, that wasn't a half-bad clear. I'm gonna be real here. For a team that hasn't really had more than 2 weeks to brew, the fact that I ended up with 33 stars is kind of insane. The team definitely struggles with, like, quick combat. Ayato really wants to do his entire shtick to really get his damage out there, and if there's any invulnerabilities or any mechanic that forces you to play around it, Ayato kind of loses his stride, which really sucks because he does actually deal damage. Well, congratulations, Ayato. You have successfully passed the Ascension Arc. I'm going to be perfectly honest, I already liked Ayato before going into this challenge, and I knew he was someone that I wanted to build eventually. I'm just really happy I finally got to sit down to do it. And man, he did not disappoint. Taking a quick look at his final build score, he went from a total score F to a total score B. Unfortunately, being Ayato, he is contested by both Farina and Nouvellette, meaning that his artifact RV score needs to be ridiculously high for him to compete with those numbers, which is why the RV score hasn't increased all that much. He has also a lot of substat values that he wants to reach, which we simply did not, but I am still very happy with how his build turned out. Don't let these numbers fool you all that much. He did really, really well. Obviously, he is still not level 90, but that is something I might do after a while, and that would push his score up into the A ranking, which is basically the only thing we are aiming for in this series. We did not really hit Energy Recharge or Elemental Mastery all that much, which kind of sucked, but it is what it is. I'm actually very happy with how it turned out. No complaints whatsoever. So let's talk Ayato's roundup. Let's start with the good things. First of all, as I've said this entire video, Ayato is incredibly versatile. You can stuff him in basically any team that requires a Hydro character, and he'll be able to do something. Obviously, he shines most when he is able to be the main DPS, but if you want to run him as a sub-DPS for someone that scales off of, like, normal attack damage, like Yoimiya, that surprisingly works, because he just buffs them unconditionally with his burst. It's kind of neat. He also has an incredibly fun and flashy playstyle. Obviously, playing him feels really, really good. His entire kit screams elegance, and it is awesome. For that reason, he's also very easy to pick up and play. It is basically just 2 buttons. There's no complicated rotation here. Just click your burst, click your skill, and go wild. He's also incredibly free-to-play friendly, surprisingly. Most of his best teammates are 4-stars like Fischl and Bennett. Also Xiangling if you're playing the Vape team for obvious reasons, and Sucrose is also really good with him. So you can kind of just get Ayato and slap him with whatever 4-stars you happen to own, and he'll do just great. If you want to do a more free-to-play Electrocharge team, Fischl and Oraron are 2 of his best teammates for that team, so I'd say just go wild. I will also say that even on low investment, as we saw early in the series when we were still missing an attack sands and a bunch of stuff like that, he does actually deal a hefty chunk of damage. He's not incompetent on the field as many would believe. He's actually pretty good. Also, one of the best positives about him is the fact that whenever he bursts, you can yell Kamisato R to touch grass. I don't care, that's a positive in my book, because every time he does it, I just have the instinct to yell. Unfortunately, for his cons, and this is probably the largest con of all, being a Hydro character, he is immediately outclassed by both Farina and Neuvillette. His competition is so incredibly powerful that catching up to them is near impossible. Farina, of course, is universally the best sub-DPS unit in the entire game, and Neuvillette, while not necessarily top 1 anymore, definitely competes for the spot in being just ridiculously overpowered on-field. Ayato has no chance to catch up with that whatsoever. It's just not going to happen, no matter how hard you build him. And that is unfortunate, because that is a curse that every Hydro character from now on is going to have to live with. He also has very few good weapon choices, most of them requiring you to have either Battle Pass or one of the signature weapons, and that kind of sucks. If you have the Event Weapon Calamity of Issue, that is going to be your best bet, hands down, and if you don't have that, most of the other ones just require a lot of caveats to really be used well by Ayato, and that's a shame. All in all, though, Ayato has been a ton of fun. I am very happy I invested into this character, and I will be playing him a lot from now on. He's just kind of fun to pick up and play and stuff anywhere and see what you can kind of do with him. I like it a lot. Now, usually at the end of the episodes, I would be showing you 4 characters that you could vote for to see on the next Ascension arc. However, I'm going to be doing it slightly differently from now on, and here's why. Normally, I put out the vote a couple of days early, usually a week actually, before I start recording for the new character, just so that I have an idea of what I need to prepare to do next. This is things like farming Mora, making sure I have XP books, doing some research on the character and on what team they might want to play, and stuff like this. Nowadays, we actually have so many votes on these Ascension Arc votes that they're kind of decided by the time that this episode comes out, or whatever episode it is, you know, you get what I mean. So, from now on, I'm just going to announce to you the winner of the next episode at the end of this one. So, basically, you'll get to see who won the vote at whenever this episode goes out. This means that if you want to actually see the votes, make sure to have an eye on my community tab, or join the Discord down in the description below, where I post whenever a new vote becomes available, so that you don't miss out on your chance. Starting with the next vote as well, you will have different membership options, and they will give you different amounts of bonus votes, up to 25 extra votes for a character. So do check that out as well. There will be a membership link down in the description below if that interests you. For this episode, however, we had the vote of Lynette, Emily, Dea, and a mystery Electro option, which would have been Beidou. Now, out of these 4 characters, there were 2 of them that I were actually really excited to see, both being Dea and Beidou. Dea would be super interesting to build because, let's be honest, it's Dea. I have Dea C2 on this account, and I feel like I could have done something fun with it. And Beidou happens to be one of my favorite characters. As the vote comes to a close, however, in 4th place, we found Dea with 14 to 15%. It bounces up and down a little bit, but I'm going to say 15% for the time being. In 3rd place, we had Lynette with 18%. In 2nd place, we had the Mystery Electro option at 24%, and Emily will be the next Ascension arc with 44% of the votes. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with Emily, to be honest, but I have been looking forward to building her, so I guess we'll have to see next time. As always, though, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you do, leave a comment down below of what you enjoyed, and if you didn't, then, you know, I guess you can say that too and make me sad. Leave a like and stuff like that, and if you are ever so inclined, do click the subscribe button, because watching the number go up makes me happy. Thank you for watching, and remember, stay safe out there.